Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast episode 704. I'm one of the hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Boy.
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers. We are live on Twitch right now. Tuesday nights, starting at 8 o'clock. We do movie cast, Gamecast. If you're watching this over on YouTube, we like that, guys, but you can also check out these live broadcasts. Be sure to subscribe to both channels to let you know when we go live and when we post. So, all right, guys. 704. We were off last week. It's been 2 weeks of gameplay. I have been working on my house here a lot, but I did play some games, obviously. Some more Final Fantasy VII, but not a lot. So I am not in the open world yet. As
What?
you know, I'm not.
What?
I'm in a world, but I'm not in like the open world. Yeah, I'm still in the
Wait,
epilogue
that-
or the prologue.
Dude, that's like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm at the end of it then because I
Okay.
played for like 2 hours.
This is like the past.
Yeah, my
Mm.
save says my save says like an hour and 48. So that's all I'm at. But it yeah, like I said, I've been very busy around the house here. We have a lot of improvements I'm doing. But and then I would like to talk about 2 weeks ago. We had a little Pocono weekend. We all got together and saw each other, and we got to play Boomerang Fu, which was I think you've mentioned it on the podcast earlier, though, Tony. Right? You've mentioned this before. I can now speak to that game as well. The depth of a simplistic game like this is unbelievable. Very much enjoyed that game quite a bit. Very happy to have actually gotten to try that one. It was great. I mean, obviously to refresh people's memories, it's basically 3 buttons: dash, attack, and throw. Throw the boomerang, and that's it. And that's your depth of the game. And it's a matter of you only get you only get one hit death. So, and it reminded me of Bomberman a lot with I'm trying to think what else. Mostly Bomberman I got the vibes from. It just was
It sounds
so
like
much fun.
Powerfall a little bit also.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see that. Yep. So no, I enjoyed that quite a bit, and I wanted to mention that on the podcast. So,
Cool.
That's pretty much it for me game wise. Tony, what have you been playing?
Let's see. So Elden Ring DLC came out, Shadow of the Erd Tree, and that's been fucking kicking my ass, which I guess I expected.
Do you need to hire a therapist?
No, not yet. But I'm not at the last boss yet, so we'll see. I could totally understand because like it's interesting whenever they do DLC, right? Because it's a hard balancing act because they have to be like, all right, is the player going to be like level 100 or level like 500 or 1,000 or something?
Because
Like that,
it's been out for so long.
So
yeah,
how
yeah.
are you supposed to balance that? And what they decided to do is they were like, okay, so we're coming up with an exclusive DLC zone because it's an entirely new zone. It has its own progression system where it's like, oh, you have like I forgot what they call it in the game, but I'll just call it shadow level, right? So you find these items and you can consume 2 of them to increase your shadow level. And your shadow level says while you're in the shadow realm, right, or whatever, you do increased damage and you have increased defense against, damage here. And it only applies in the Shadow DLC against Shadow DLC enemies, so it's not like you go back to the base game and just start rolling through guys and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's interesting, but at the same time, like, there's a disconnect where, like, I'm a level, I think I started as like 150 something, because I just imported I just used my original clear file. Level 150, whatever. Like, I have the best armor, best equipment in the game, and I just go to the DLC, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I stumble upon some ruins and get into like a mini boss fight, right? It's not like a named like grand battle or anything. It's just like, it's just a mini boss of the dungeon or whatever like that. And I must have wiped him like 20 times because I was like, he would hit me once and be like a third to like a quarter of my health. I'm just like, bro, who are you? I'm an Elden Lord. You're fucking nothing. You're nothing, right? And I was just getting so sick because like he would, and like some combos, like if you get hit more than once, you just die. And I'm just like, all right. So I got past him, and ironically, like I died more to him than the actual first legitimate boss of the DLC.
We gotta get back into that muscle memory.
Yeah, we did because I was just
like,
oh god, I should have warmed up. I should have like loaded the game up and like taken out a couple enemies or something like that. But it's great. I mean, it's so big. it's almost a full sequel in a way. Like I wouldn't say like Elden Ring 2, but like 1.5 or something like that is what I would venture to say. Because originally he's like, oh, the size of the map's like this, and I'm like, dude, you fucking lied. It is way bigger than that. Like vastly bigger than that. And there's still one area I have no idea how to access. Like I can see it on the map, like when I bring it up, and I'm just like, I don't know how to get here. Literally have no clue how to get there. I spent like an hour just kind of like circling around the perimeter, and I must have missed like a hidden thing or a stairwell, or I have no idea. But yeah. And then my one gripe with a couple of the bosses has just been like, again, because they really want to challenge the player, because like there's not going to be any more DLC. Like they'll probably move on to Elden Ring 2 or whatever like that. So they want to make the boss fights really tough and challenging. And the way they decided to do a couple of these is like, what if the bosses were in the air and you couldn't hit them? And you're just like, I mean, sure, I guess, right? And so, like, I mean, there were some enemies in the base game that did that, right? They'll rise to the air and, like, do a move, right? Like Melania. Like, she does foul water dance or whatever it's called. And that's awesome because it's, like, one move and you just have to learn it, right? There are bosses in this which is, like, literally, you're fighting somebody else from a different fucking video game. Where it's, like, I don't know, like, Bayonetta or Metal Gear Vengeance or something like that. Where it's just, like, they, like, fly in the air and they just do these, like, 3, 4, 5, 6 hit combos. And it's just, like, okay, like I just have to like dodge these and wait for you to come back to the ground so I can fucking hit you, right? And just as a caveat, like if I was a mage build or something, yeah, I could probably, cast spells. But like I'm just like a dude with a sword and I'm just like standing there looking up and be like, all right, well I gotta dodge like 3, 4 times before I can hit you again and stuff like that. So that has been a little frustrating because I fought one of the major story bosses and he was just like, you're not getting anything done right now. Like you have a 5-second window to hit me before I unleash like another like ridiculous comp. I'm just like, all right, bro, all right, whatever. But that was satisfying when I killed him because it's like, fuck you, like literally, fuck you. So, yeah, would recommend you relinquish your, defend your title, Jim.
Oh, I don't know, retirement life.
Retirement life.
I don't want to show up these youngins.
Relinquish your title first to access this, basically. It's like starting over almost, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
way, yeah.
Kind of, I'm sure that's how they balanced it, but yeah, I get that. So, but, we'll see. Maybe I will soon. All right, Corey, what have you been up to?
Well, it's more going through Final Fantasy VII still. I think Chapter 10 was a lot bigger and longer than I expected it to be.
What was Chapter 10?
Let's see. Well, you go to the one where the chocobos like jump and fly.
Yeah. Okay, Cosmo Canyon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then so now I'm at Cloud's hometown.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean it's great game. It's great still. Just having fun there. And that's really the only game that I've been playing.
No, it's fine. It's a meaty game. I mean,
yeah.
I just saw Metacritic, I think, because the first half of the year is done now, and they're like, "Yep, Rebirth still #1 game this year." So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great, and it gives you a lot to do, and there's a lot, pretty good amount of variety, and all the mini games. There's like so many mini games that, like, I hardly get to them at all because there's still so much to do and explore. But I'm still kind of like going to a direct path as much as possible. But you still get caught up in other things here and there. It's a big world.
Yeah,
it's amazing what they've done.
Oh, awesome. All right, Mike.
I've played a little more of Hogwarts. I'm in a weird pattern though because I'm trying to not advance the story unless Ashley is there watching, because it's kind of the reason why I'm playing this game. But that's not very often, so I am super over leveled at this point. I'm level like 28, and like the main story stuff that I would be doing is like recommending 15 or something. So everything is very easy, and I am getting a little tired now. I'm exploring a lot, but I'm ready to kind of get going with it. So I sort of stopped playing that for a bit, and then I've finally, although this came out like a year ago, I got into the expansion, the little DLC with the Shredder's Revenge, there was the dimensional like survival mode that they added in there. I've actually played that single player a bit, which has been pretty fun. Uh, I can't wait to get some people to like play with me. I need to do that, but I do plan on having one of my game nights again in the near future. So
Cool.
I'll suggest that. But no, that's been cool. And then the other thing I just started yesterday, probably because it's been on my mind more since that non-reveal at the Xbox showcase, is I'm doing the 360 remake version of Perfect Dark. I'm trying to do a Perfect Agent playthrough on that now because I know I never did that when I was younger. So I just play through the first level, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
So I'm all over the place right now because I'm not into Elden Ring or Final Fantasy. So
No. Yeah, it's
me.
a quiet year. Yeah.
Before you go on, I had some more stuff to talk about.
Sure,
so,
go for it. Did I move on already? I'm sorry. I didn't
yeah,
move. I didn't move on from you. I didn't mean to move on from you. I apologize.
Fuck you.
So
no, just kidding. So Final Fantasy XIV's new expansion came out as well on Friday called Dawn Trail, and like, here's my part with MMOs because like, Jim, you remember like WoW, right? Where you'd be like, oh, this is great, and then one expansion would come out, and you'd be like, whatever. And I feel like this is it with Final Fantasy, where I'm just like, what are you even doing, right? Where it's like,
I remember that. Yeah.
To give an analogy, so like the last expansion was basically Avengers Endgame for the story up until that point, and like now we're into like phase 4 where it's like, oh, how do you even raise the stakes anymore, right? And it's like, you got to meet new characters, go to a new world, and that's fine and all, right? I have no problem with that. But the writers are just the way they did things, and I got to a point last night where there's one mystery, and it's like, hey, like, you have to get to the Golden City, because like the whole thing is like, it's like you're exploring the new world, right? The equivalent of like the new world, and like find the Golden City, right? So like 10, 12 hours in or whatever like that, I finally get to the Golden City, right? It's like everybody's like, ooh, like, how do we open it? What's inside? What's gonna be inside the Golden City? And this NBC shows up like, oh, you found it. Congratulations, you guys won the contest. Now let's go have a party, and I'll tell you all about it afterwards. I'm just like, bro, no. Like, you are telling me you got this right now, right? Like, that's how that conversation would go in real life. It's like,
yeah.
Bud, like, we've been on this adventure for like weeks, and you're telling me it's cool now? Like, what are you talking about? And of course, stuff happens because you leave, and it's just like, how do you write this and be like, yes, this is gonna resonate with the fan base? Like, fuck these people. So yeah, that's that. It's been fine other than that, but that I just had to gripe about that. But over the weekend, I went to a local game convention called 2 Minute Games, which was nice. Got to play some random indie games. There's one called I think Iron Meat coming out or something like that. It's kind of like a Contra, but like violence turned up to like 11 kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So that was fun and stuff like that. And some other ones like, I think there's like Berry Arms or Bear Arms or something like that. It's about like bears that get guns and shoot other forest things and stuff like that, which was interesting. I don't know. Somebody liked the pun and just ran with it. But one of the cool things was not like directly a game, but they have a couple guests, right? Like most conventions do. And for this particular one, a couple Baldur's Gate 3 people showed up, voice actors. I think it was Astarion, Karlak, and I forget the third one because I didn't see them. But my one friend was hosting the cosplay contest there, so she was a guest. So after the convention one of the days, I went with her back to her hotel. We were just hanging out in the lobby. And lo and behold, because everybody's coming back from the lobby, Astarion's voice actor came out, and we were hanging out with his handler. So he came up to his handler to talk about like whatever. And nice guy, he just like struck up a conversation with us. He's like, hey, what are you guys here at the convention for? So he just started up a conversation with us, talked to him about his experience with Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, and congratulated him on his not his award for voice actor for the year and stuff like that. And he stuck around for a bit, and then afterwards I bought him a beer and got a picture. So I thought it was like just a cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Thing. Yeah, it was a nice story. And then I found out afterwards. I feel bad because after that entire thing happened, my friend was like, "Do you know how much he was charging for selfies at the convention?" I was like, "Nope." And he's like, yeah, it was like $70. I was like, oh. So
Wow.
now I feel bad. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll Venmo him or PayPal him or something.
You brought him a beer.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, that's fine. But he's like, oh, that was a really good discount, you know. So it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, just wanted to share that story. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Is that is that where you could have gotten stuff graded? Did you do that?
No, because it was only games.
Oh, gotcha.
Last year, I think they had a different company. This year was just a game company.
So yeah, true. I think $70 is a bit crazy, but it's an award-winning voice. So
yeah, no, like I mean, props to I mean, just kind of like
was he signing stuff too? Or
yeah, he was signing stuff.
Oh,
so
okay,
so
that's
like
cool.
Maybe it came with a signature. Maybe that was a price, but I felt bad because like the beer's like $10 maybe or something like that. So it's like
maybe you really wanted, you needed one. You know, sometimes they're refreshing. That's all you need.
I thought you said you were gonna say you felt bad for it afterwards because you heard that he's like sober or something now.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Cool though.
Yeah, it is. And Churro, just so Churro's charming about the price. Mark Hamill charges like $250 for a
okay, but
contract.
That's a different thing. But yeah,
I understand that, but like $70 is not crazy. I mean, it's high, but it should, it's high for that.
I'm
but it's not
trying to remember
like
what
crazy.
Charisma Carpenter did for the picture when I went like 5 years ago to Comic-Con. I think it was like $40-ish for her.
Yeah.
So.
I paid 60. What did I pay? 65 for Kevin Conroy. He was cheaper. He was 65, I believe.
Yeah, I mean everybody sets their own rates.
A few years back though, but
that was a few
also,
inflation. You're right. Yeah.
I mean everybody sets their own rates.
Also, this is his year though.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like,
this is his.
I mean, he's probably been in the game for a long time, and this is his break. He's got to.
Oh no, absolutely.
Cash in.
And, that's why I told him like when he gave that speech at the Game Awards. I mean, I think he mentioned like, he was kind of questioning his career choice and stuff like that before the
We talked about that. Yeah, he did mention that. Yeah.
And like how he's second guessing
interviews.
Yeah. So I was like, hey man, you gave a great speech. You deserve the award and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, that was the kind of cool tidbit. He's like, I had no idea I was winning. I didn't have any kind of speech prepared. I was like, oh, that's surprising. I figure like they kind of like let the winners, wink, wink, not judge, have a speech prepared. He's like, nope. I thought Yuri was gonna get it from Final Fantasy Clive.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, because I'm friends with him, so I was like, yeah, I think it's your year, man. And he's like, nope, and then I won. So I was like, oh, it's cool.
Neil Newbin.
Yeah.
I realized we never said his name. We said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah, my bad.
So cool.
That's cool.
Awesome. All right. Let's see what we got here. News-wise, this week it's been a little quiet. Obviously, we're on the second half of Summer Games Fest, right?
Well, it's all over. Nobody's talking about
it. It's all over. I know. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be
almost over.
Steam Summer Sales happening.
Yeah. Steam Summer
Sales. Was that $16 billion worth of games sold that nobody's played or something like that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, ooh, I probably have.
I contributed to that for sure.
I contributed that.
I'm trying to remember if I picked up anything yet on that. I don't think I have yet on those sales, but there was a couple of cards. Yeah.
I was to Mass Effect Legendary just $6 on there. I'm like, oh, what? Should I do it? Actually, I don't know.
Yep.
I didn't do it. To the backlog.
Yep. Yeah, that's what happened to me. So
you really want to relive that pain, Corey? Do you?
I mean, Mass Effect 2 is still one of the greatest games ever.
I don't know. I honestly think, and again, I'm biased, right? You guys know that, but I feel like if you guys replayed those games, you'd be like, oh, it's not as good anymore. I just have.
I mean, there's some rose-colored glasses for sure.
People have been very high on the Legendary Edition, though. I was going to play. I actually did start playing the Legendary Edition a little while ago, but that was before Starfield last year. But then I just stopped. And
I mean, I replayed when 3 came out. I replayed 1 and 2.
That was like over 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1 you can get through in like 12 hours. 2 I think is a little bit more.
Well, 2 depends on how deep you go into it. Yeah, I mean, the main you probably get through it pretty quickly.
Do you want to
but
do things right, or do you want
and you should.
go in
and then you
get
just
everyone killed.
Renegade that.
Yeah, renegade. But yeah, I it'd be interesting to hear that if you play through it, like Tony said, because everything's a little bit weaker when you go back to play it. Usually, like games, you go back, you're like, okay, because advancements.
From the little bit I played last year, the Citadel in Mass Effect 1 was still one of my favorite like hub worlds ever. I was like, oh, this place, the vibes of the Citadel was great. The gameplay in Mass Effect 1, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. so that was how I felt. The vibes, even the story, the areas, real cool to see. Actually playing the game, we'll see. I'm waiting for 2.
Yep. Okay, news this week we had just the Capcom Next really going on. So which was not a huge event for them. They announced the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster coming September 19th.
Yeah,
and they showed some gameplay from that, which looked, I was just gonna say, 4K 60 frames, very impressive. Again, Capcom has just found it to do these these remakes. They've nailed it so far.
Yeah.
So far.
I mean, Dead Rising to me was one of the first showcase games of like next gen back then on 360, because like the amount of zombies that game put out on screen, it was kind of ridiculous. It was like,
is that a launch title?
It was close to launch. I forget if it was exactly launch.
It was very early,
within the first year or so, but
yeah,
it was one of the first titles I picked up when I finally got my 360. It was definitely one of those like, look at how many zombies and look at because it was just an interesting premise, right? You're like trapped in a mall and there's just swarms of zombies. You go to the fucking parking garage, or you go outside into the inner court, the grass area, and it's just like, you can kill all these zombies. Like, just go ahead, go fucking nuts and stuff like that. But it was definitely hard. Oh my god, that game was.
Yeah,
and that game like was kind of like, it had some Dark Souls elements to it, because like, the leveling in that, I don't know if you guys ever played it or not. You can get levels in that game. I think there's 50 levels, and when you level up, you get a random attribute. So like, and the attributes are like health, strength, inventory space. I think like weapon power, like if you're like using a weapon or something like that, and something else. So like every level,
random?
It's completely random.
You can get all inventory space throughout the entire run of you.
Oh, possible. I mean, that'd be perfect, because like inventory is like you're one of the kind of like Resident Evil.
Yeah, you really want that.
I want more inventory space. Like, but like I remember being level up, and it's like, oh, increase like weapon damage. I'm like, fuck, like I need more inventory, I need more health or stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to see how much quality of life updates they do, because it's like, it was back then when Capcom was more experimental with like arcadey type games, because it was had like arcadey feels and stuff like that. And then there was a thing called what was it, 3-day mode or something like that, 72-hour mode.
Yeah, you were timed.
You were timed.
Yeah,
I remember that. Timed, and I don't think you could pause it or anything either. Like I think you had to go through it in a single playthrough session, which today is kind of insane, right? You're like, that's crazy. I would never do that.
Yep. So interesting. So that was shown at this event. Like I said, that's coming September 19th. That's digital actually. Physical version arrives in November. I missed that part. They showed Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, which is coming July 19th. That's their action strategy hybrid.
I think that was shown at the Xbox show last year.
Yeah, right? I remember seeing that. Yeah, that was last year. It wasn't this year, right? Or was that this year?
I don't this year. I think it was a game like Summer Games Fest this year.
Oh, okay, that's where I saw it. Okay, yeah. So that's finally they showed more of that, and that'll be here July 19th. So very soon. And then gave us a nice tease that yes, the next Resident Evil game is in production. So not surprised there, obviously, right?
No,
you have to.
I mean, Resident Evil's their moneymaker with Monster Hunter, so
yeah. I mean, that has a right in production.
Yeah, if rumors are to be believed, the next Resident Evil game is going to be open world, which
that's
is kind
what
of
I heard.
Interesting,
yeah,
right? Because it's like, I guess they've not done this before, and open world is a big trend in the Western audience.
Sure, the next Resident Evil Resident Evil 9, yeah. The number one.
Apparently they are remaking Zero and Code Veronica, I want to say.
Yes, I heard Code Veronica is happening, Corey.
I heard Code Veronica. I mean, I will.
Happening, Corey? You could right the wrong.
Definitely.
Yep.
When that comes out, I'll be on that. gotta complete the what is it? The mission there.
Dude,
Finish the
so how long
story.
of game pause will that be to go when you go back and
Oh,
you
when
finally
did it
finish
come
this
out?
game?
When did it come
Yeah,
out?
Oh, did you get trapped or something? Was that
yeah,
Yeah.
he got trapped, the save trapped, yeah, and he just
trapped.
never went back to it. Yeah.
No, I did too. Like, because spoiler alert, the last part of that game is segmented from the
Mhm.
90%, the first 90% of the game. And I remember my friend and I, like, we were playing it and we could not beat the final boss. Like, we just didn't have enough ammunition or something like that. We're just like,
Yeah, I was
okay,
on the
well, sucks
back
to
of a
suck.
plane. I feel like I want to say,
Yeah. I know what
and
you're talking
then like I think I just like you load in the save, he swiped and you died. You loaded the save, swipe, died. Like that's all that was happening.
about. Oh god, they let you do that? Cause like,
I think I froze.
What's that?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No,
Corey
yeah,
said
you're
he
good.
froze.
You're a little slow moving, Corey, but you're good. Or not.
Churro never finished this game either. Really? Like, is this what's the finish rate of Code Veronica? I wonder. Did everybody get like save stuck? Like this sounds very common. Like you guys, it just sounds like it can happen. Like I'm happy they're gonna remake this one. But it's Corey. The game came out by I know you're lagging right now, but the game came out originally in 2000, February 3rd, 2000 was that game came out. So if you can finally finish it, that would be a very
24
long pause.
years?
Yeah. 25
Oh,
by the time this comes
25
out.
whenever it comes out, yeah. But no, I just like load into like a death mode, a death sequence. Just kept loading into a death sequence.
Yeah, it sucks.
I didn't think they
It's
let you
always
do
fear.
that back then. Because like the save rooms are always a safe zone. But I guess this might have been a cutscene like save.
I just remember I think I didn't I had like one herb or something.
He didn't have
which
enough
didn't-
supplies. He didn't have enough
Yeah,
supplies.
and then just you go in and then one hit you're dead and
gotcha.
then
I see what you're
they
saying.
couldn't heal, so
Yeah. No, that was fun. I mean, that was kind of like fun fun, right? When horror games like just didn't, overload you with ammunition and health, right? Because it's one of the things I've been like, I don't know, in my old age was like, I wish this were a bit more challenging, right? But I get for
well now it's
quality
like
of
they
life.
telegraph it like, oh here's a save point, here's all the like the vending machines and
Yep.
the different like refresh everything right before you enter a boss room, be ready.
Yep, be ready.
Because yeah,
See,
now
I don't know too much about the survival horror genre, but I felt like Alan Wake 2 was pretty stingy with the stuff.
Yeah, maybe they are.
But also it was felt the most stingy when I explored everything because
I think that's kind of like a staple of survival horror though, is to kind of
yeah,
keep
I mean,
you
well, that's the survival aspect of it.
right.
It's always a risk
But,
versus reward thing because it's like, oh, do you go
Right.
for the extra item, weapon, or whatever like that? But if you have to, use up all your healing items, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Because like you could just use the healing items on a boss, that you're killing a little bit slower because you don't have the best weapon or whatever like that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean the thing is like with modern RE games, and we'll probably see it for Silent Hill too, but like they have it so like the worse you're doing, the better the game will help you. So like if you're like struggling, the game will be like, yeah, this enemy drops weapons and this enemy drops, like health and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing Dead Space, that's absolutely what happened. Where I would just like, I would stop buying health stuff because I'm like, if the game sees I don't have health in my inventory and I start getting hit, they're just gonna give it to me. Like whatever, fuck it. Why am I gonna waste my money? So you kind of game the game, right? It's like, okay, director, I see you.
Okay. Yeah. So that was, I think, it for their event, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess they're hitting their bread and butter right now is the remakes. Like Capcom is really killing it with that
They
aspect
had
of things. And
I didn't see it. They had no update for the MVC stuff yet, did they?
no, no,
Okay.
and no Monster Hunter on this one either. So, yeah, we'll get more this year. There's more coming. I know that there's more announcements. So that's definitely going to be interesting. So I think that's it for the news, though, right? Got anything else? All right. I think that's going to be it for this week, then, guys. Once again, we are live on Twitch Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock. Please join us for these broadcasts. You can talk with us on there, ask us questions. We will chat back with you guys. If you missed these live broadcasts, you can go over to YouTube. All the content is there. So subscribe there. You can see all of our stuff. Go way back in the episodes if you want. And way, way, way back. So, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. We do appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. We are out.